You ever have something you built with your own hands bulldozed in the middle of the night like it was a meth lab? Not the simple wooden bridge you made to escape a world gone mad. Yeah, that happened to me. And the ringleader was our HOA president, a woman with the ego of a small country and the warmth of a frozen parking meter. She said my bridge ruined the aesthetics, but what she really bulldozed was a whole lot more than a few planks and screws, and by the time it was over, the entire neighborhood would feel the loss. You think I'm exaggerating? Just wait. Let me back up a sec, paint you the picture. It's a blue sky Saturday in Montana, the kind of morning that's almost too perfect. Cedar shavings still stuck to my jeans as I carve my initials into the last beam. I can smell the sawdust and feel the crisp air rolling off Moonstone Lake water, sparkling like a box of diamonds. And for a minute I forget about bills, about work, about everything except the way that bridge curves from my backyard out over the water. My grandfather, a hard man with soft eyes, used to say we're just caretakers for the land, holding it for whoever comes next. The day they destroyed that bridge, I felt like I let him down. But the real story, that bridge wasn't just for me, it was the thread that held a lot of lives together. I spent 2 years building that bridge, not because I wanted to show off, but because after a lifetime of backbreaking trail work, I needed a place to breathe again. That bridge was my church, my therapist's couch, and my fishing spot all rolled into one. Then along comes Crystal Whitlow, a storm cloud in designer heels strutting through my yard, waving a hot pink violation notice like she's handing out subpoenas on Judge Judy. Hair like a helmet, voice sharp enough to etch glass, she doesn't even look at the lake. Mr. Langley, according to HOA regulations, all wooden structures must be approved by the board. I laugh not because it's funny, but because I can see where this is heading. It's on my land, I say. I didn't think I needed permission. Her smile chills the air 10 degrees. It's an aesthetic violation. Moonstone Lake has standards. Standards, right. What she really means is her standards. Thing is, Nancy Fisher 2 doors down used to call my bridge the most peaceful spot in the whole neighborhood, but Crystal's got different ideas about beauty. You've got 72 hours to remove it or face $500 a day in fines. $500 a day for a bridge nobody else paid for. That doesn't bother anyone except her. My hands curl around my knife, not because I'm angry, but because I'm tired of people like her deciding what's best for everybody. I'm not built for fights, but there comes a point where letting someone walk all over you feels worse than standing up. I've lived here 3 years, I say never had an issue till you became president. She tosses me a look that'd freeze a bonfire. Mr. Langley will learn how to live in a civilized community. Then she's gone, but that's not the end. Oh no, that's just the fuse being lit. You know what I mean? See, Crystal wasn't always Queen Bee. She came here with baggage, fleeing some scandal at a school board, ran a parent association, bullied a young teacher so bad the woman quit. Ruined her name, nearly her marriage. So she moves to Copper Hills to start over and remakes herself as the community savior. Every lawn mowed to regulation, every mailbox the right color, all to prop up her new image. Our quiet patch of Montana became her little kingdom. That night I sit on my bridge feet, dangling over the water, thinking about her ultimatum. I remember laying the first plank in a spring snowstorm, fingers numb but heart calm for the first time in years. Now I'm supposed to tear it all down for aesthetics. The irony stings. I spent my life keeping public trails open, connecting people to the wild, and now the only connection that matters to me is under attack. And as I'm nursing my wounds in the dark, I see Crystal on my property line phone, out snapping pictures from every angle like she's prepping for a military campaign. Not just a violation, but full-on reconnaissance. Next morning, there's a city notice under my door. Someone complained about illegal construction. Enter Bob the city inspector clipboard, and all but Bob's an honest guy. I show him my permits, he shrugs. Everything looks good. Someone's wasting your time. I know who, and I know it isn't over. That afternoon, Mike Coleman, the only decent HOA board member, shoots me a warning emergency meeting tonight. Crystal's got a whole presentation about your bridge. The meeting room feels like a courtroom, Crystal, at the projector slides and charts red arrows on photos of my bridge like I built the Berlin Wall. Most of the board looks half asleep, but nobody dares challenge her. Then Mike pipes up, "Bridge isn't hurting anybody, it's prettier than the plastic junk in half our yards." Crystal's composure cracks for a heartbeat. "We're not here for other violations, Michael," she snaps, launching into a property value rant with some wild studies about how much my bridge will cost everyone. The numbers are pure fiction, but it's enough to make people nervous. Nancy, sweet old neighbor, asks what Crystal actually wants. A reasonable compromise, Crystal says. Mr. Langley can keep his bridge if he paints it to match the approved color palette. Yeah, paint over hand-carved cedar with beige house paint. No thanks. I stand up. I'm not painting cedar to look like plastic. That's not a compromise, that's vandalism. The silence after is the loudest thing I've ever heard. Crystal closes her laptop like she's slamming a cell door. If you refuse cooperation, we'll pursue decisive action. Mike catches me outside. He's never seen Crystal this wild. Usually it's just angry letters, not bulldozers. I don't sleep much that night. Next morning, a certified letter lands legal threats from some fancy law firm. Big words about unauthorized structure demands for removal, the whole 9 yards. Crystal's moved from petty politics to full-scale legal warfare, and she's betting I'll fold. But here's her blind spot. Years working trails taught me land law and how to spot a bluff. I dig out my property records, old yellowed maps from when I bought this place, and just like that, I find a buried gem. The exclusive lake access easement belongs to me. Crystal had just declared war on the one person who controlled the path to the water for the whole neighborhood. So I put up a little sign, maintenance in progress, please do not disturb. Within hours, neighbors are peeking through curtains, walking dogs a little slower by my fence, trying to figure out what's going on. Nancy comes by worried. Everything okay with your bridge? I keep it vague. Just routine maintenance. But the gears are turning in her head. The access she always took for granted suddenly seems fragile. Then Hank Morrison, retired cop, drops by. That bridge is the soul of this place, son. The little lady doesn't know what fire she's playing with. Hank's seen this kind of power trip before, and his words feel like both warning and encouragement. Meanwhile, Crystal is making calls, contractors, landscapers, anyone who will listen. She's looking for a company to remove unsafe structures, translation, demolish my bridge, and present the bill as a public service. But the thing is, every other path to the lake crosses protected wetlands. My bridge is the only legal access. One cold Saturday before dawn, I wake to the sound of heavy machinery. I run outside, still in yesterday's jeans, and see a crew already halfway through tearing my bridge apart. Crystal's there, filming the whole thing, grinning like a cat with a canary. I yell, "You can't do this, it's my property," but the bulldozer operator ignores me. Crystal's holding some emergency maintenance paperwork, totally bogus, no city work scheduled here. Piece by piece, months of work and peace are yanked into the water. My hands shake, picking up the shattered nameplate, cedar splinters digging into my palms. Crystal thinks she's won, but she made her first big mistake. Her phone catches her voice giving specific demolition orders. Evidence just waiting to bite back. Mike's there, furious. "This is illegal, Garrett. She's crossed the line." But comfort doesn't put the bridge back or erase the memory of losing something you poured your heart into. Here's the twist: by destroying my bridge, Crystal cut off the entire neighborhood from their only legal access to the lake. I put up a new sign. No bridge, no lake access. Within a day, the whispers start. Nancy asks, "So we can't use the lake?" I just shrug. All the other paths are protected wetlands. Only my bridge was legal. Crystal tries to fix it, spends HOA money on new landscaping pathways, all of it crossing protected land. She's so focused on looking like a savior she doesn't see the rope she's tying around her own neck. Parents cancel lake trips, kids can't fish or swim, the annual barbecue is off. Nancy organizes meetings, neighbors are angry, but Crystal keeps digging. I consult a lawyer. Turns out not only do I control lake access, but Crystal's demolition could make her and the HOA liable for damages. Crystal's planning a grand lake improvement meeting, probably to ask for even more money. I let her walk right into it. Meeting day, the room is packed. Crystal in her power suit slides and renderings of a fantasy lakeside park. I wait till the end, then stand up and lay out the maps, legal documents, easement rights. The bridge you destroyed was the only legal access. Without my authorization, nobody gets to the lake. Dead silence. Crystal sputters, but Nancy's voice cuts through. "So our kids can't swim anymore," it hits like a sledgehammer. Crystal scrambles, promises to work with agencies, but I pull out photos of her illegal landscaping. "You've racked up environmental violations too." The room turns just like that, and Mike stands steady as ever. We need new leadership and a real plan. I lay out my terms. HOA pays to rebuild the bridge. Crystal resigns and apologizes, and any future decisions go through proper legal channels. Suddenly, folks who never looked twice at my bridge are lining up behind me. The next morning, the petition's on Crystal's doorstep. Even her allies abandon her. She tries to negotiate, even threatens me, but I play her own demolition, recording her voice, ordering the destruction. Friday, the community meets at Nancy's place. My terms are no lake access and possible fines for environmental damage. The vote isn't close. Crystal's out. Mike's interim president. The bridge is scheduled for reconstruction. Weeks later, the laughter of kids is back, echoing across the water. Crystal's power is broken. She fades from meetings, eventually sells her house and leaves. Mike runs the HOA with respect, not fear. And me, I sit on my new bridge as the sun sets, remembering my grandfather's words, bridges connect. More than land, they connect people. Crystal never got that. She destroyed my peace and lost her own. That's the thing about power trips, they end with you stranded watching the world move on without you. So tell me, what's the wildest, most ridiculous HOA power trip you've seen? Drop your stories in the comments. Let's talk about what community should mean and how we make sure the right people hold the keys.